Hello guys, it's your favorite tutor again as a maker champion wisdom. So today on this lesson, we are going to be looking at the fundamentals of microfinance. So the objective of this lesson is that by the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand the origin of microfinance. You should be able to define microfinance correctly. You should be able to explain the importance of microfinance. You should be able to differentiate between a microfinance and a bank, and you should be able to identify the beneficiaries of microfinance. Going to the history of microfinance, microfinance started in the year 1970s by a man called Mohammed Yunus. He was a university lecturer in the University of Chittagong. He started the microfinance institution by when he discovered that many poor people could not get money, but yet they needed money to start up their businesses. So from his own pocket money, he lended money to a particular group of women who in turn took that money and start up a business, and they become successful, and in return they paid back with interest. So this led to the emergence and the birth of the first microfinance called the Grameen Bank in the year 1983. Now let's move forward to what is a microfinance. Now a microfinance is a financial institution that provide small or minimal and micro financial services to low income earners and to business owners. Now the main goal of microfinance is to provide loans, as you can see in the image, to provide loans to small business owners, to entrepreneurs to start up their business, and by so doing become financially independent. Now let's move forward to the importance of a microfinance. Now the importance of a microfinance as listed there, we have to reduce poverty, create employment opportunities, encourage entrepreneurship, provide living standards, and empower women and youth. Now moving forward to the first importance of microfinance. Now how do microfinance reduce poverty? Now microfinance reduce poverty in the sense that when they provide these micro loans to individuals, when they take these micro loans, they start up a business, and by so doing, when a business becomes successful, they now become financially independent, and by so doing it has reduced or elevated poverty from them. So by the help of a microfinance institution or a microfinance, they have become financially independent, and by so doing it has elevated poverty. So now let's move to the second importance of a microfinance, how microfinance creates employment opportunities. Now microfinance create employment opportunities in the sense that when they provide these micro loans to individuals or business owners or individuals who are interested in starting up a business, when they start up a business and eventually the business grows, they will need employees, they will need people to work in that organization, and by so doing it has provided employment opportunities, because the business owners who started a business from the loan they collected from microfinance institutions, their business has become successful, and they have now employed people into that business, and they are all working, and by so doing they all become financially independent. Now let's move forward to the third importance of microfinance, how microfinance encourages entrepreneurship. Now microfinance encourages entrepreneurship in the sense that when these microfinance give out minor loans or micro loans, small loans to these business owners or these young entrepreneurs, what they do is they take this money and they start up a business on their own. Now when the business becomes successful, it has encouraged entrepreneurship, because if there was no microfinance to give them these minor and micro loans, they would have started something on their own. So with the help of microfinance, individuals who don't have money or low income earners, they can now take a small and micro loan and start up something on their own. Now let's move to the next importance of microfinance, and we are talking about how microfinance improve living standards. Now microfinance improve living standard in the sense that when microfinance give out these micro and small loans to low income earners, and if they are able to start up something on their own with these micro loans, they start up a business. Eventually when that business grows and increases, what happens? It leads to better food, it increases their living standard, better food, better education, better healthcare, and better housing. It has improved their living standard, because if there was no microfinance institution to provide these micro and minimal loans to them, they wouldn't have collected any loan and started up something on their own. And because they did collected something from microfinance, they now started a business, is successful, and now they have improved their living standards. Now let's move to the next importance of microfinance, how microfinance empowers women and youth. Now microfinance empowers women and youth in the sense that women and youth are able to collect micro loans, because it is believed in our society that women and youth are not really financially independent like the men. So microfinance come into place to make sure that these women and youth who are financially dependent are able to collect micro and minimal loans and start up something on their own. And by so doing, it has empowered the women and it has empowered the youth. Now let's move to the next section of our lesson: microfinance versus commercial banks. So on this part, we are going to be discussing the differences between a microfinance and a commercial bank. Now you must understand that a microfinance is not a commercial bank. Now first, a microfinance serves low income people, while a bank serves all customers. Now, the primary goal or assignment of a microfinance is to make sure that they reach out to that poor population, the people who are unable to associate with the bank. That is their primary goal. But the commercial bank are there. Firstly, the commercial bank at first was more focused only on high income earners. Recently, the commercial bank started downscaling to meet up the needs of low income earners. Now, the second difference is that microfinance gives small loans, but commercial banks or banks give larger loans. Now, with the primary goal of microfinance, for them to align with their goal, they have to provide these small loans to low income earners, because if they provide higher and big loans to low income earners, eventually they won't be able to pay. They won't be able to repay back. But commercial banks, they are out to provide larger loans. That's why they serve the high population, people who are financially independent. And the next difference between a microfinance and a commercial bank is that microfinance, they have less strict requirements, but the commercial bank has more strict requirements, in the sense that in opening an account in a microfinance or to associate with the microfinance, you need less requirements to associate with the microfinance, because the microfinance understand that they are out to serve only the poor, and they believe that the poor or people with low income, they don't have all of these necessary and big requirements like land titles. They don't have. So but the commercial bank is out only for, they have strict requirements, because they deal only with people with high income. So they believe that people with high income have all of these necessary requirements if they demand for it. So the next is a focus on poverty reduction. The primary function of microfinance is to reduce poverty. That's why they came into the market. That is why Mohammed Yunus discovered this. But for a commercial bank, they are out to make profit. Now, the fifth importance of a difference between microfinance and a commercial bank is that they often use group lending. Microfinance is out to lend. They lend mostly to group. So a group of women, like the origin Mohammed Yunus lended to a group of women, but a commercial bank, they usually lend to individuals who can benefit from a commercial bank. So I'm just going to list them. We have small business owners, we have farmers, we have tailors, we have hairdressers, we have youth entrepreneurs, we have low income families, and we have women group. So in our next lesson, we are going to be expatiating on who can benefit from a microfinance. Okay guys, see you on our next lesson.